11 News at 10 starts now.
He brought football back to Houston and became one of the most powerful owners in the NFL. Tonight, the city of Houston, Texans fans, and the NFL are mourning the loss of a giant, Texans owner Bob McNair, who died today at the age of 81. Good evening. I'm Sherman Chow. We have your condolences on social media scrolling at the bottom of your screen in just a moment. And tonight, we have team coverage on McNair's life, his impact, and how you, the fans, are remembering him. First, though, let's start with Jason Bristol. And Houston tonight has lost a leading citizen.
Without a doubt, Sherman. I think the most important score in Bob McNair's life was this. 29-0. That result, a unanimous vote by the rest of the NFL owners in 1999, awarding him and the city of Houston the league's 32nd franchise. The Texans saying Bob McNair passed away peacefully today in Houston with his loving wife Janice and his family by his side. Team president Jamie Roots adding, quote, "We lost an incredible man today." Reaction of Bob McNair's death coming from all parts of this country. From NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell saying McNair leaving a lasting mark on his city and our league. He cared deeply about the league and was generous with his time and willingness to share his insights as an exceptional businessman. But above all, Bob was a family man. From President George H.W. Bush, a dear friend, Bob McNair wasn't just the brightest point of life in Houston. He was one of the kindest and most generous people anywhere. Nobody cared or helped people more. And from the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, after the Houston Oilers left Houston for Tennessee, Bob and his family brought NFL football back to Houston, where it certainly belongs. He was a bold and visionary Houstonian who will long be remembered here. Bob McNair's life spanned 8 decades, and now, as Daniel Gutierrez shows us, it was a life full of football, family, and foundations, with the key word being full.
How does one measure a man's legacy? Well, you can take a look at what he accomplished, what he built, what impact he made. A tall order indeed, but not hard when the man in question is Robert McNair. A true titan of Houston. The guy who went by Bob brought football back, a debt that this city can't really ever repay.
We're talented, we've got good coaches, and our goal is to win the Super Bowl, not just be there.
A $700 million investment back in 1999 is now a franchise worth $2.8 billion. McNair's wish to build a team that stood for something, good people along with winning. That first one, most important.
He's a guy that was, like I said, he was on the practice field. He wasn't, sticking his nose in there and trying to, tell Coach Kupiak, what plays to run, things like that. But he kind of sat back and was very observant. Would come over, shake guys' hands and ask how they were doing.
From humble beginnings, McNair created a life that allowed him to return the favor. His charitable work hard to match. Charities too many to mention received his family's offerings. From the YMCA to cancer research groups and many others, that's where this legacy truly means more. The latter years, though, challenging. Health battles and comments, seen by some as inflammatory, in no way define this Houstonian. Because in the end, this Florida-born, Carolina-raised young man turned philanthropist and innovator cared about people. He cared about the players. He cared about this town that he grew to call home. Ironic, since it was Robert C. McNair that will forever be remembered for giving Houston a home on Sundays to always be welcomed at 2.
There you go, Robert McNair. What a life lived, for sure.
And when you think of Bob McNair now, what will you remember most?
When I got here to Houston, I was 25 years old. I grew up here moved here when I was 8, but when I started working here at 25, had a camera on my shoulder, young guy in the business. He'd always come up and shake my hand and remembered my name to the very last moment that I saw him. So that's the type of person that he was. And I think a lot of people have those same stories.
Yeah, whether it goes from the security guard or the people up in the suite, I think Bob McNair touched everyone equally.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel.
Yep.
Now, reaction from players also pouring in from J.J. Watt. Rest in peace, Mr. McNair. Thank you for giving myself and so many others an opportunity here in Houston. And the first player inducted into the team's Ring of Honor, Andre Johnson, Can't thank you enough for giving a kid from Miami a chance to live out his dream of playing in the NFL. My deepest condolences go out to the McNair family. And another player worth mentioning, ex-player Brian Cushing. I will forever be grateful to Mr. McNair for believing in me and caring about me as a player and a person. It was an honor to know him and witness all that he did to give back to our community. Now, the fans are also remembering the man that they should consider as a savior when it comes to football in Houston. Right now, it's David Gonzalez continuing our team coverage live at NRG. David?
Jason, fans are very excited and also looking forward to that big Monday Night Football game here at NRG Stadium against the Tennessee Titans. And fans that I talked with say that they are very proud of what McNair was able to accomplish in this community over at Red River Ice House, which is just down the street from the NRG Park. Texans fans say that they were crushed when the Houston Oilers decided to move away outside of the city, but Bob McNair took a gamble they say paid off. They say he made a huge positive impact on this community. Not only did McNair bring football back to Houston, but he also created hundreds of jobs and revitalized the area around the stadium.
When he brought the team back in with his extreme knowledge, business sense, we were really proud to have it happen, and we really felt like we're still excited about the Texans as far as we can remember when they came, so we're still pumped up about it.
I'll salute the dude, man. I am very thankful, as just for me, as just a regular citizen, community person in Houston. I thank him with the utmost respect for bringing back football.
Fans, of course, want to see someone follow in McNair's footsteps. They just hope someone will be able to fill his shoes. And right now, fans say that they are still very excited about the Texans season. And the one thing they say that they're sad about is that McNair won't be able to see the Texans win the Super Bowl. Jason?
Yeah, that would be something. The Texans winning a Super Bowl. Thank you, David. Rockets, Astros, Dynamo all offering condolences tonight as well. Rodeo Houston remembering Bob McNair as a true visionary who gave so much to his community. His contributions will be enjoyed by Houstonians for generations to come. The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, offering this. Bob's stature and the manner in which he carried himself and guided his franchise commanded the respect of everyone in the ownership room of the NFL. His love for his team and especially his players was unsurpassed by any NFL owner that I have known. A powerful statement there from Jerry Jones. Bob's alma mater, the University of South Carolina, standing in salute to Bob McNair, a man who gave back more than he took away, making college possible for 2 decades of McNair scholars and changing the lives of countless. And Sherman, in the end, Bob McNair meant so many things to so many different people, and even some who question his actions or his comments later in life, expressing their admiration and gratitude for him today.
You know, and I think the other thing that strikes you is what a humble man he really was.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the pleasure of hearing him speak at an event, I mean, he would talk about his business failures as well as his successes. And I can remember being struck. He would like to say, people say we were an overnight success. It only took 17 years of hard work to become an overnight success.
And look what he did with that overnight success.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Touched so many people.
Yeah.
Our extensive coverage continues right now on KHOU.com and the KHOU 11 mobile app. We have a look at how Bob McNair brought so much more than football to Houston. He was one of our city's biggest philanthropists. And if you're on Facebook, head over to the KHOU 11 news page where Matt Musil and Daniel Gotera talked with you about McNair's life. These guys have covered Houston sports for decades. They really have a lot of insight, so check it out. Add your comment to our KHOU 11 news Facebook page. And you and I, we both lived through that drama when the Oilers pulled out of town and moved out, and there was no football in Texas, in Houston.
So many different aspects of the Texans and the Oilers that you bring up. When you and I were here, when the heartbreak of this city was felt, was palpable when they moved out, and Bob brought football back to Houston.
And everybody knows what Texas means, what football means to Texans, to Houstonians.
It is such a
Big
huge
deal.
It's a huge deal. This man brought it back, and it took him a couple of failures before he was able to bring it back. He had to fight for a couple of years. So Yeah, he's going to be missed in a whole lot of different ways and thought about tonight and in years
Lots
to
of
come.
homes.
And on Monday night, we're playing the Tennessee Titans. I don't quite know.
Formerly the Oilers.
Formerly the Oilers,
right.
if you don't know. I don't quite know what to make of all that, but it's just, it's
a little karma, maybe.
It's a humbling night, too. A lot to think about with this. Okay, outside right now. It is a nice evening. There's Pleasure Pier in Galveston. All's quiet. They had some fog earlier today, so I'm looking at the fog forecast. We may see some fog develop early tomorrow morning. On Saturday, what are your plans tomorrow morning? I don't think the fog's going to be too big and bad, but heads up, it could be thick in some patchy spots. Temps outside right now, comfortably cool. We're 50s and 60s with Humble 57, Alvin 61, Sugarland. You're at 61 right now. And here's what to expect. Comfortably cool tonight. Warm, spring-like Saturday. Then turning much colder on Sunday. Got a strong cold front coming in Sunday afternoon. I'll show you what that means for temperatures. Oh, and have you noticed tonight? It's a full moon. We'll talk about the Native American names for this full moon. We'll see you after the break with much more.